I made a video about this movie years ago when it was announced that it was going to get made. Only the announcement, I was like really excited for it because I really, really like the original. I watch it every October. Of course, I grew up watching it. I even played the video game, but because it's a sequel and it's a modern sequel, I didn't have my hopes up too high. So I'm going to start with the positives and mention that in this movie, Lydia has a paranormal ghost hunting show that she hosts. And that made sense. I could see her doing that. So that was pretty cool. I like that. In the original 88 movie, Michael Keaton doesn't get a whole lot of screen time. I think someone said he was in the movie a whole 15 minutes. But every time he was on screen, he stole the show. Here, they give him a little more time. Not a whole lot, but definitely more than the first. And yep, he's still haunting the living. But now it's more of a corporate thing. He made it bigger. He has people helping him. Lydia's mother, played by Catherine O'Hara, now have a better relationship. Because if you remember, they didn't get along too well in the first. But now Lydia's daughter is the one who doesn't get along with her. Of course, Lydia believes in ghosts. Her daughter doesn't. They make fun of her at school because people know about her family. So that's kind of a throwback dynamic that they had in the original. That's always good because, in my opinion, you should have a character in a sequel who's discovering things all over again, just like the very first movie. If someone has never seen the first, they can still enjoy it because you're discovering things along with her as a viewer. Michael Keaton, of course, is a standout. He's Beetlejuice, right? Of course, he's gonna stand out. But Captain O'Hara is just as good, especially when they interact. But William Dafoe and his character, man, is hilarious. He plays an afterlife cop. But when he was alive, he was a B-movie actor. And you can tell that guy was really, really funny. I wouldn't be surprised if they have a spin-off of his character. Monica Bellucci plays the ex-wife of Beetlejuice, chasing after him. And her intro, man, really, really good. You get to see footage of when they were together in black and white, a younger Beetlejuice. But her character's not really essential. And you would think she would be, but not really. And her plot, her story doesn't really have an ending. They just kind of abandoned it or something. But she was still real good. And of course, they took it back with the practical effects, the puppetry. I really like that. I'm not a big fan of CGI, at least when it's a whole lot of CGI. Not really a fan of it. But here they use very little. And whatever they did use, it looked bad, but I know it's on purpose. The sandworms back in 88 were stop motion. They made the sandworms CGI, but they still have that jerky stop motion look to it. Just like in the 88 movie, we see a bunch of dead people and you can tell how they died. Here you get more of that. And you can clearly see how they died too. It's pretty funny. I was wondering what happened with Lydia's father, but it's in the trailer, so it's not a spoiler, but he passed away. And he died in a very funny way, man. It was poking fun at him because of the charges he got. If you know, you know. So now on to the negatives. And there's a few. The story is way too overlayered. You got way too much going on. Too many characters. You're interested in one plot and they bounce to another and it goes all over the place. Whereas the original, it was pretty simple. It was just Beetlejuice trying to get rid of that family. Now, the afterlife, or I like to call it Netherworld, but that's what they call it in the cartoon. You explore it a lot more here. That's good, but it also feels like too much. And I don't really like the digital camera, polished, sleek kind of look to these modern movies. I like the old school film, grainy kind of look to a movie. It has a whole lot of contrast and saturation, whereas the original didn't have as much. It's not a big deal, but I prefer the old way. And if you've seen the original, you remember the famous dance scene at the dinner table. That's like a classic song, a classic scene. Here they try it, but it's not as good. No way it's going to be as memorable as that one, as the original. So, from 1 to 10, I'm going to give this movie here a solid 6. Is it rewatchable? Yeah, especially around October. Would I recommend it? Yeah, I would. Whether you're a fan of the original or not, it's still worth going to watch it. You don't have to wait for the streaming. It's worth it to watch it at a theater. Catch you on the next one.